La Linea, Chapter 13. The bus stopped just once before the border, in the pitch black of night. One by one, the federales left the bus, walked away into the darkness, and quickly returned. I guessed they were going to pee. Elena had never been able to wait to go, and I knew she was suffering with every bump in the road. Well, fine. She deserved to suffer a little. As for me, my butt hurt, my neck ached, and my legs were cramped from being doubled up. Morales had forbidden us to stand or change seats. The complaining finally began. "Ay, Capitan, let us out, just for a minute," one called out. "What do you want, a big mess on the bus?" "Usa una botella," Morales sneered. He motioned for the driver to get going, sat back down, and pulled his cap over his eyes. Several men cursed him quietly. "They're no better than the worms that feed on a dead corpse," Javi said sourly, nodding his head in the direction of our jailers. He rubbed his forehead with both hands and then ran his hands through his hair, attempting to comb it with his fingers. He shrugged, raising his hands, palms up. "But their work will be for nothing. We'll all come back, all of us." Javier looked around the bus to confirm his opinion. "This isn't the first time for them, either." He pointed at the two brothers. Then he paused. "For them, it's a minor setback, nothing more." He motioned to the black man across the aisle. "And that guy? He's come all the way from Brazil. Do you know how far that is? He'd never let an idiot like Morales get in his way." Javier studied me curiously for a moment. Then he turned slightly in his seat to catch a glimpse of Elena behind us. "¿Quién es? Your girlfriend? What are you going to do about her? She's a liability, you know. She'll slow you down." Elena leaned forward, placing her chin on the edge of our seat. Her head was right between ours. "I won't slow anybody down because I'm traveling alone. And I'm not his girlfriend. I'm his sister. I already told him I know what to do and he doesn't need to worry about me." Elena spoke to Javier. She said it as if I weren't even there. "Actually," I said to Javi, ignoring Elena, "she's only 13 years old. You can tell what a baby she is by how she behaves. Now I'll be forced to change all my plans and take her back home. She's so selfish, she didn't think that far ahead." "It's her fault we ended up like this," I continued. "Most of us would be all the way to the border right now if it weren't for her." I only half believed this, but I said it anyway to hurt Elena. It felt good to say the things I'd been thinking all night long. Javi was grinning. He didn't seem to care who won the argument. He was just enjoying the entertainment. "That's not true. That ugly fat Capitan would have let me back on the bus if Miguel hadn't called out my name the way he did." Elena's voice got louder with each word. By then, half the bus was listening. And just who does he think is really selfish? He's the one that was going to leave me all by myself in San Jacinto. I know how to get north, and I'm going to do it." Elena stood up, gripping the metal edge of the seat with both hands. "I'm not going back to San Jacinto. Not ever," she screamed over my head. Capitan Morales stood up in the front of the bus. He stared long and hard at Elena, hitched up his pants, and yelled, "Shut up, all of you!" Morales turned back toward the driver. "Cállense!" Just then the bus lurched. Morales lost his balance. He reached for the seat nearest him, missed the back, and fell on his knees in the aisle. He grunted and pushed himself up. His pants fell down. We all could see most of his giant naked butt. Elena giggled quietly behind me. Javier's laugh began low in his gut and ended in a series of loud snorts that flew out his nose, like a donkey's bray. It ended in a giant wheeze. I began to laugh. I couldn't help it. Then everyone started to laugh, with Javi and at Morales. For the moment, we didn't care if Morales got back at us. But Morales made like it never happened. At the front of the bus, in front of us all, he adjusted his uniform jacket and sweat-stained cap. He pulled up his pants once more, trying to get them over his bulging gut. Finally, he withdrew his pistol from its holster and inspected it casually. The barrel gleamed in the half-light of the dawning sun glowing through the window of the bus. It was all an act, like his earlier shakedown, but it worked. Silence fell over the bus again. Javier's wheezing that had begun with his laughter hadn't stopped. His chest rose and fell with his efforts to take in air, but he didn't stop smiling. He leaned over and whispered in my ear, "I wonder if this guy is as stupid as he looks. I think he might be. I'm going to find out." With that, Javier scrunched down, settled his head against the metal edge of the back of the seat, and closed his eyes. I fell asleep to the sound of Javi's breaths, loud and insistent.